Hey, what's up, my G?
Hey, I got an idea!
Not again, mate.
No, I think it's a real good one this time, seriously.
You normally don't have good ideas, but in this time, alright, hit me.
Imagine a garden for bees, birds, and plants.
Why do you want to have bugs and flies? Are pretty annoying, right?
No, they're not. They help us. Like, they pollinate the flowers of fruits and vegetables that we eat.
So are you suggesting that they are our friends because they feed us?
Yeah, exactly. You got it, bro. That's why we should film them back.
But how do you suppose we are going to do that? Like babies?
No, not like babies, like without breast or milk, so not like that. But that's why I'm talking about a garden. Look, in this plant, the soil hosts worms and larvae of a lot of different bugs, and also the roots keep them safe while they keep the roots clean. And even in the plant itself, there could be a spider or butterfly eggs.
Ah, yeah, and when it blooms, the flowers becomes in food for bees and butterflies and different insects. And well, now imagine that, but in a bigger scale, with 50 or 100 of that, like an example, obviously. And now I remember that documentary that I watched before about orangutans who are dying because of the deforestation. So it will be like saving the rainforest for bugs and flies. It's worth a try. But how suppose we are going to call that? We should call it the Restoration Garden.
Hey kid, what you doing?
I'm just playing with leaves.
Good for you. Gardening has a lot of health benefits. Did you know that it boosts your self-esteem? Which means that you're not going to be afraid of trying new things anymore. It will help you alleviate the stress. This combats negative effects like fatigue, anxiety, and low energy. It also improves your concentration and attention span, so you will never get lost in class ever again. Don't forget that it will get your blood flowing. This will prevent heart-related diseases and also diabetes. Not less important, it will improve your mood, making you more approachable and sociable to others. Last but not least, it fosters friendships and social connections so you won't ever be lonely again.
Thank you, lady. I'm gonna tell all my friends.
Now, we will talk about compost. But first, we need to explain what is composting. Composting is the natural process of recycling organic material, such as leaves and vegetable scraps, to transform it into a rich soil conditioner, called compost. So, what kind of product can we use to make compost? The answer is wood ash and table scrap such as eggshell, fruits and vegetables, coffee grounds, tea leaves, piece of paper, newspaper and cardboard, and leaves.
So, the advantages of making and using compost are: firstly, the soil conditioner can benefit your plants, adding valuable nutrients to the soil. Secondly, introducing microscopic organisms into the soil helps to oxygenate the ground and protect the plants from diseases. Now, composting offers a natural alternative to chemical fertilizers, contributing to the protection of the environment. And finally, we can reduce up to 1/3 of the landfill waste using kitchen and yard scrap as compostable materials.
Furthermore, the restoration gardens could have effects on the atmospheric CO2 and climate change. Over the last few years, atmospheric CO2 has significantly increased. This is the result of an increasing excretion of greenhouse gases like CO2, while the number of plants able to absorb them decreased. The main source of CO2 or carbon dioxide are the burning of coal, oil and gas, as well as deforestation and industrial processes like cement production. That means, for instance, the warming of the Earth's surface, which can lead to many other environmental problems. Emissions can be measured by looking at the Air Quality Index, the AQI. It shows the air quality by rating the pollution in the air from 0 to 500 degrees. Greenhouse emissions cause a worse air quality, which means a higher degree on the scale. An example for why the AQI level goes up is when ozone is created at ground level, where it can be harmful for human health. Ozone is the result of the chemical reaction of sunlight with certain emissions from industrial facilities, cars or gasoline vapors. The higher the concentration is in the air, the higher the risk posed to human health. Here in Cambridge, the AQI level is mostly moderate. This represents an acceptable level, but the pollution could nevertheless become a concern for the health of those who are members of sensitive groups.
Despite the increase in CO2 in the atmosphere, plants have been able to adapt and can currently absorb 13% more CO2 than they could 200 years ago. However, the plants are starting to reach their limits. Even if they could continue to adapt to this increase in atmospheric CO2, the drought and heat wave due to climate change are adverse to the plant, harming their ability to absorb CO2. Terrestrial plants have a net capture balance of about 10 billion tons of CO2. Yet, deforestation and field lead to renewal release of 4 billion tons of said carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. Without doubt, the restoration garden could play a part in reversing this development. Since there are roughly 400 schools of different levels in Cambridge, it could have an immense impact if every school had a garden. The creation of restoration garden is not a miracle solution, but it could increase the amount of CO2 absorbed and thus improve the air quality.
Hey guys, what's going on?
Bro,